Alexander van der Bellen is a very calm person, and I respect the fact that every time before he speaks, he has to think about it, that he doesn't lie. I like that, and I think it's a good tactic. He is nice and really lovable, and I think Austria couldn't have a better president right now, having such a concern for the youth of today. The craziest thing happened to me on the 28th of April. The President of Austria came to my school because I wrote a letter to him about my worries on the Brexit. I was inspired by his talk in the Parliament about the youth, that in the future the world will belong to the youth. I was surprised to get a reply. The reply stated that Alexander van der Bellen, the President of Austria, had read my letter and will reply to me soon. I was really excited. The weeks carried on and I still sadly did not get a letter back, but I knew it was coming. In the beginning of April, I finally got the letter. It was during school still. I still had French, and my mum came running to me. I was surprised that she came because usually she picks me up at 3. She didn't say much, she was just excited. She showed me a letter that I was waiting for the last months. It finally came, and I felt like I was going to faint. I could barely stand anymore. The letter stated a lot about that he read my letter and he will be willing to be interviewed by me. I was really excited but surprised at the same time. I didn't think that such a big happening would happen. After the letter, I carried on writing to his office because they didn't really tell when the interview would happen and where. My mentor for my school project always asked me, when would it be? Where would it be? How long will the interview be? I didn't know any of that, so I carried on writing his office. She said it would be on the 28th of April, and I was really excited that it would happen so soon. I got straight to work and wrote down questions, practiced the questions. How would it be? I barely could sleep the nights before that. So he came to school. I was thrilled, scared, and weirded out. I don't know. It was just a feeling I did not expect I would ever have. He came and the photographers all wanted to take pictures of the time, my first reaction and like us two being in the same picture. We walked upstairs to the warm, jolly school. Everyone asked their questions, told him what their project would be about. Then I had a break. I could eat my honey waffles. Yeah, after eating one or two of those, the interview was going to happen. It was crazy how just the guards, with all their suits, tuxedos, were walking me into the head teacher's room with a nice, comfortable couch. We started with asking, I started with asking some not so important questions, just so that the photographers could take pictures, and then after a few pictures and so they had to leave. Then I went to the important questions. These were mainly about my personal problems.
I read the news today, oh boy, about a lucky man who made the
to do as president. It was interesting. We were allowed to video record 2 questions. These were some important questions, but also questions that one of them at least affected me. I asked him about the Brexit, if there's anything good about it. Here's what he said.
I think it was a tragic mistake of the majority of the British people to decide that way. I hope you can keep your 2 citizenships that you have, the British one and the Austrian one, and that you personally will have not really any disadvantage from the decision. We don't know how the negotiations between London and Brussels will proceed. The time frame is very, very short, these 2 years, to solve all these difficult questions. But I can't imagine at the moment where your personal problems would be, since you already have 2 citizenships.
Then the second question, I asked him, well, I told him that before he became president, he was interviewed by a reporter, and this reporter then asked him, if you become president, how would you like a person to describe Austria? Van der Bellen answered, freedom, fraternity and respect. Well, then I asked him, how do you think you can fulfill that wish? Here is how he answered.
I would say it is a process, I think these are high values, values that we should strive for, values that are not self-evident in many countries of the world, for instance, personal freedom or the freedom of expression. So we have to be very careful about that. The president can talk about it, can give interviews either for the print or for TV and so on, and talk to you, for instance. That means going to schools, to universities, having discussions. I hope that after my presidency, Austrian people will say, at least he tried.
After another half an hour of nerve-wracking questions, the interview was over, and I asked him for like 6 signatures for all the people that helped me, and being nice, of course, he did that. His bodyguard asked if I wanted a little drive in the car. Of course, I would be weird if I would say no. And then we talked a little in the 1-minute drive about the school, what I thought about it. Nice little conversation. After the ride, I got a little present to remember this special occasion. Also, without this present, I would of course remember every single bit of it. But I got a Maria Theresia coin, which is really cool, and which is of course definitely worth quite a bit because it's made out of real silver. And then inside it we have some information about it. I didn't take the coin out, of course I wouldn't. I'm going to leave it in here. So it was a very nice day. When I got home, I just lay down and thought about it. It was a great time.